Every time that I rewatch Adventure Time, I just keep latching onto new pieces of lore that seriously make me believe that this show was more unhinged than the majority of the stuff that gets released today.
What about tier 15?
Stay away from that!
Don't stretch it!
You stretch good!
And that's not just because of the occasional adult jokes.
Or is it? No.
Sweet Pea was literally born out of a rotten corpse of the Lich while he was getting forcefully rejuvenated at the Citadel. And the Lich, being the physical manifestation of the Green Catalyst Comet which symbolized evil and death itself, quickly became one of the most destructive forces in OO.
Here's your gold star.
Despite this, not only would Sweet Pea somehow gain the willpower to be able to fully reject the Lich within his mind in order for him to regain control over his body.
Eesh.
But this man would also become the single greatest hero in OO 1000 years in the future, as far as we know anyway.
Surprise! Oh, my, where did you get all this bling?
We're not going back to the same economy. This will be a different economy.
And then there's our boy Finn, the current greatest hero in the land of OO, and most notably Princess Bubblegum's personal champion.
Oh, Finn, my flawless champion! Bring the Duke of Nuts to justice.
A hero who was not only raised by a couple of the most loving and adventurous dogs in OO.
Finn, if you're seeing this pre-recorded holo message, it's because you finished the dungeon that I made for you.
But Finn himself would also begin his journey as another one of the Catalyst Comets, the Blue Catalyst Comet.
That was you, sort of. And I crashed on Earth.
Effectively making him the physical manifestation of life and goodness.
I feel like I put a lot of work into this meat reality. I'd like to see it through.
And yet, despite this higher calling being assigned to Finn before he was even conceived, by the end of his life, our boy would practically be left with nothing.
Jake?
In the end, while Finn would admirably choose to devote his entire life to going against Billy's initial warnings by continuing to fight for the citizens of OO.
No, I was talking about beating up monsters. It's as pointless as a dog chasing his own tail.
The cost of this decision would tragically leave our boy without a lifelong romantic partner, again, despite the fact that he was clearly working extremely hard to find one.
Excuse me, Finn.
No! You were mine!
Finn would also have to watch his brother, who was also his best friend, die in front of him.
This is the worst!
And to top it all off, considering the kind of person that Finn was forced to become after he was rejected by every woman that he's ever loved and then lost Jake abruptly after, this man most likely died alone.
I kinda already know you. I have a lot of fuzzy half memories from when I was this guy.
Just keep the ones where she's our boss and forget everything else.
Sounds good. Doesn't work.
While Farmwood Finn would get confirmed to have a loving family with Huntress Wizard after he reasonably decided that he wanted to settle down during the Fiona and Cake miniseries.
Yeah! Your whole thing is you want to help people, remember? We can fix all this.
Primewood Finn, in contrast, was shown to be uninterested in giving up on adventuring even after he lost Jake, which comes across to me as our boy making the conscious decision to remain childless.
Do not do tier 15!
Dude, I got no idea what you're talking about.
Although with Fiona and Cake Season 2 still being in production and set to release later next year, that still remains to be seen.
Finally!
Finn gave everything to the world, and in return for all of his hard work and good deeds, during his final moments, the world would take everything from him. The dickhead. A child who was literally designed for greatness would manage to bypass his good nature by hurting many of the people who were closest to him before his death.
Battle cowboy, whoa!
That letter said things in it that only you would know. Personal things, Finn.
While another child who was destined to spread chaos and destruction would manage to overcome his evil nature by growing up to become one of the planet's greatest symbols of hope.
Golly, it's awful nice of y'all to take Sweet Pea to school on his first day.
The reason why Finn would end up alone and bitter while Sweet Pea would end up becoming a truly selfless hero is because of their nurturing. The various people who were hiding behind the scenes to influence their lives and by extension their very futures.
Whoa! go!
Adventure Time was always a very philosophical show, and I believe that this presumably intentional contrast between Finn and Sweet Pea's lives was the show's take on one of the most controversial philosophical debates of all time: nature versus nurture. This discussion comes down to the question of which is more important in determining the values that a person will cling to and cherish later down the road in their life: their genetics or the environment that they grew up in.
This is all very nice, but it doesn't solve the mystery.
You know, there are plenty of people who choose to work in the exact same field of jobs that their parents chose when they were younger. So do we sometimes make similar decisions to our parents because they gave birth to us, or was it because of the fact that they were simply more outside influences in our lives and genes aren't responsible for shaping our identities nearly as much as we were always led to believe?
Is this right or wrong? I can't tell.
After we take a closer look at the way that Finn and Sweet Pea's character arcs were written and concluded, it'll become very clear where Adventure Time stands on this debate in particular.
And before there was nothing, there were monsters.
I seriously don't mean to glaze the show during this entire video, but Sweet Pea is unironically one of the most well-constructed characters on the show, and that's saying a lot. Despite the fact that this giant baby would be born to be the Lich's vessel because of the incredibly positive influences in his life, like tree trunks,
There, Sweet Pea. It was just a dream.
Mr. Pig,
that's my brave little boy,
and most importantly, Finn himself,
the monster that whispers me bad thoughts.
By the time that the Lich would actually decide to make a move and regain control over his fleshy new body, Sweet Pea already having his mind set on growing up to follow the exact same values as all of his family and friends in OO, wouldn't allow his naturally evil nature to control his life. And then there's Finn himself, a boy who only wanted to become an adventurer in the first place because he aspired to follow in Joshua and Margaret's footsteps.
Priceless. There are some things money can't buy.
I can already tell that this might come across as being a bit of a hot take, but when you really think about it, Finn was an unfathomably selfish hero. While Finn would make a point to save as many lives in OO as possible because of episodes like All the Little People and Frost and Fire, where our boy was shown to view some of his closest relationships as being nothing more than a means to have fun for him, we're kind of just left to wonder if the reason why Finn was rescuing all of those people from giant monsters during the first few seasons was because of the exact same reason, right?
He's out of line, but he's right.
Don't get me wrong, there's no doubt in my mind that our boy would manage to grow out of his selfishness and become a much better person by the end of the show.
Now it's like, I'm different.
You're a beautiful flower and I love to watch you grow.
But when it comes to judging Finn's character on a whole, it's fair to say that being born out of a blue catalyst comet wouldn't be enough for him to accept his naturally good nature, at least not for a very long time. Adventure Time went out of its way to teach us that in a lot of cases, the environment that we spend the most time in can shape us more than even our own parents can hope to achieve. And I seriously believe that this is a lesson we should all be keeping in mind.